Hello, hi, and how you doing? We are officially in the latter part of the year, and we are entering the final month before the holidays. August was a slower month in terms of gaming, as my schedule was getting tighter. Despite this, I was able to play some quality games. I jumped from game to game, eventually landing on a shorter title as the one I completed. My eyes were set on playing Cyberpunk 2077 at the beginning of the month, but as I went from session to session, I found myself not looking forward to playing the game. I felt demotivated to play, and that's when I decided to switch my main game up. Let's talk about what those games were. Unable to continue on with my previous plan, and less time to do a longer game, I chose to finish a game that has been in my backlog for a while now. Citizen Sleeper is a text-based sci-fi dice RPG, a type of game I haven't played before, but have always been interested in trying out. Similar to a popular game in Disco Elysium, Citizen Sleeper is a deeply atmospheric visual novel with an element of strategy and chance. The story is the main draw and the strength of the game, with gameplay playing a more supportive role in the experience. I would describe the experience of Citizen Sleeper as a more interactive, immersive book. Your choices were fully in your control, so it had full autonomy of how the story played out, which a book cannot do. I say it's like a book because the gameplay was not based on reflexes or combat choices. In fact, there are no combat choices in this game. There were instances of getting physical, but it played out on its own. A very new way of playing a video game, as my experience with visual novels is very slim. It was fresh, new, and inspiring. Let's talk about Citizen Sleeper's strength, the story. The hook here is that you play as an entity labeled as a sleeper. You're a copy of a person's consciousness placed in a robot's body. This previous person sold their consciousness to a corporation to then be sent off to a far-off planet, never to be seen again. You are separate from that person as their own, but not. Your being is owned by this corporation. You find yourself battered and broken on a space station called the Eye. Unsure how you got there, but alive. However, you're being hunted because your existence is illegal. The corporation has sent out a bounty hunter to retrieve their property, and you must find a way to stop and survive on the Eye. The Eye is a giant rotating independent space station where there is little regulation due to the overthrow of its once corporate rule. Gangs, rogue AI, and the new ones in power are all at work to find meaning and to keep the Eye revolving. The Eye is where you go when you want a new start or have nowhere else to go. It reminded me of Cyberpunk almost with its portrayal of a dire corporate greed future. Immediately, the game puts you in a situation where you have to figure out and find the next move to survive. Along with a bounty on your head, your corporate-owned body is decaying. It's been set to rely on a substance that the corporation has a monopoly on. Without it, your body slowly dies. So this forces sleepers to be reliant on the corporation and stay working. So already my life is in danger and I have to find a way to survive another cycle. This fully invested me and I wanted to keep playing, so it was a good hook. Along with the rest of the story, you meet other characters and they need help, so with your unique situation as a sleeper, you help them in turn to help you. The characters are well written and believable. Your choices matter in terms of advancing these characters' subplots. It is vital to listen and learn what they need and want in the world. Every subplot has a hint of a solution to your issues. Help this guy disable the tracker in you, and in turn, lose the bounty hunter. Get a vial of the substance to keep you going from the local doctor. Help the local gang to get access to their resources, and etc. But the subplot that invested me and intrigued me the most was the one with Lem and Mina, a beat-up hardworking dad and his adopted daughter. Well, you didn't find out until later she's adopted, but their story is very heartfelt and inspiring. As soon as I met them, I knew I had to help them. Long story short, you find a way to help them off the Eye on a ship going off to start a new colony on a faraway planet. The game has you decide to go with them or stay. I had other things to do on the Eye, so I stayed. The way it was described seeing them leave without you, and the look on Mina's face brought a tear to my eye. You help this little girl have a new life, and it was great to experience. This is one of those endings the game has, and each was fulfilling. Citizen Sleeper's story is a great sci-fi concept, and being able to play it out in a game was very fun. The gameplay loop of Citizen Sleeper is very reminiscent of a tabletop RPG. Each cycle you get dice rolls ranging from 1 to 6. The higher the roll, the less risk involved when doing a task. You also have an energy meter to maintain every cycle. If it runs out, you will get a negative condition. Every choice and task falls under one of the 5 stats. These stats include Engineer, Interface, Intuition, Engage, and Endure. At the beginning of the game, you choose a set character who is strong in one of these and weak in another. So like D&D, you get modifiers to these tasks. Tasks include getting money, hacking systems, getting food, and ultimately advancing subplots. When performing a task, you choose one of the dice you rolled to either succeed in it, get a neutral outcome, or get a negative outcome. This depends on the difficulty of the task, your character's attributes, and the dice number. So throughout the game, you're managing resources to survive each cycle and making decisions to better your chances. This gameplay style kept me engaged and invested. It did feel like I was making my own decisions, and can go either way with the dire circumstances. So making friends with the characters was very helpful, and a lifeline to the next cycle. Along the way, you learn more and more about life on the Eye as you find your place amongst its people. The art style is very distinct and fits very well with its setting and mood. Citizen Sleeper's art direction does portray its corporate greed, spacey sci-fi future through its characters, and each character is just oozing with detail and personality. The UI is simplistic in its depiction of the space station, but I think it suits it just fine with the detail the writing is giving. So more detail in the areas are left up to your imagination, which is a good touch for more immersion. The soundtrack is consistent with spacey, intense, atmospheric tracks that further supports the writing to paint images in the player's head. Adding the sounds of dishes when working the kitchen, the voices of a crowd when walking through a hub area, and emotionally driven space music to complement the current happenings. This all gives you the feeling that you are the sleeper, and the Eye is a living, breathing entity. Is Citizen Sleeper fun? As my first experience with a story-focused TTRPG, Citizen Sleeper is fun. With its well-written story, characters, and a world it does well to hook and immerse, I am aware this type of gameplay might not be for every gamer, as a lack of combat or playing out conflict is absent. Despite this, Citizen Sleeper's story, art, and soundtrack carry it as a solid experience. Like D&D, you have flexibility with this world and story, and that's what makes it attractive as a game when the story is fantastic. Its runtime was short, but it felt like I did live in this world and met these characters, and that's powerful to say. Other games I've been playing this past month include Tiny Bookshop. Tiny Bookshop is a laid-back management sim about selling books. You can pull your tiny bookshop to different locales with different communities with different tastes in book genres. By selling books, you can buy decorations that can help boost your selling stats. There are 7 different genres and only so much room on your shelves to supply your business for each day. What's really cool about Tiny Bookshop is that the books are real, actual books, such as The Great Gatsby, Dune, and even a recent book I read, like When the Coffee Gets Cold. The game has customers ask you for recommendations, which puts your book knowledge to the test, since they're actual books. They will ask for certain criteria, and you have to match it with books on your shelves and your knowledge of those stories. An addictive gameplay loop to say the least. The environments are super chill, and there's a small story here as you get to know the community and their characters. I want to briefly talk about Cyberpunk 2077 here, as I started the month fully thinking I'd be doing a full playthrough. The story is super intriguing, and I like the game and its premise. However, I just felt overwhelmed with the size of its world right off the bat, and didn't feel like exploring that much. Exploration being a huge part of the game, I felt like I was missing out on good content the game had to offer. Just lack of motivation caused me to stop, and in the future I plan to come back with more wind in my sails to tackle the nitty-gritty of Night City. We have a big month ahead of us, September being only a prequel to the even bigger month in October. This month, we're going to start the month with Indiana Jones's DLC. I think it was called Circle of Giants or something like that. I'm very excited to dive back into Indiana Jones's Fedora, and I'm thinking that we're going to 100% the game, including the DLC. So excited. Gonna be playing that for the first few weeks of September. Later on in the month, 2 big titles are going to be released, and I'm probably going to be playing them side by side. We got a February situation here. Trails in the Sky 1 remastered. I played the original about 6 years ago now, and I really loved that one. The story and the characters and everything about the game is fantastic, and I'm looking forward to playing a more modern take on that entire experience. Silent Hill F is also coming out this month, and I'm looking forward to seeing what that game's gonna do to me. I really like Silent Hill Remastered. I played last month and came out last year. So this is a brand new Silent Hill game, so looking forward to what they have in store for this one. Some honorable mentions I might be looking into. Aethermancer Early Access is coming out on Steam. It's kind of like a Pokemon roguelike card game. All 3 things I am very interested in, so maybe we'll play that on the side. And then on one last honorable mention that's coming out at the last day of September, Final Fantasy Tactics. Big Tactics fan, so I've heard a lot of good things about this one. I have yet to play it. We might be trying that out if we have time between all of these games. And that's gonna be for what I'm gonna be playing next month. I'm probably gonna be playing Kirby as well and fit that in there somewhere. Good stuff. Very excited. Looking forward to more gaming. Thank you for watching. This month was very short, and the shift in schedules plus a lot of other things going on took some of my gaming time, which is fine. There were still some fine gaming experiences and only good things on the horizon. There will be a lot to talk about next month as we approach the holidays. Remember to like and subscribe, comment what you might be looking forward to in the coming months, and I appreciate you being here on my journey and hope to see you in the next one.